Alright, so for our pre-recorded as well, we'll make our way to our mats and we'll come all the way down into our Shavasana. So resting, taking this moment, so live on a Friday afternoon or whenever we choose to take this practice. It's one of the wonderful things that have come from COVID is this amplified almost accessibility to things like our yoga practices. So we come down as we rest in this stillness. We rest the body and we just notice how the mind follows. When we stop the hurrying physically, and just allow those thoughts as well to be less scattered, to be less important. As we instead shift this importance of our focus into what's happening here and now. One of the ways that we do this in our practice is to focus on the breath. To just be present with each inhale and exhale. As we move through the fingers and the toes, just observing that movement. And gently hugging the knees towards our chest, squeezing in nice and tight. Taking our subtle movement, that gentle rock or roll or whatever it is the hips are feeling in need of this afternoon. So we'll focus on some lower back stuff today. Some hips and twists. As we come back to center, opening into our happy baby, taking hold, either peace fingers around the big toes, outer edges of the feet, or somewhere along the legs. So bringing the knees out nice and wide to the sides, lowering them to the mat as we lengthen the lower back, that tailbone coming towards the mat. If we'd like to continue that gentle rock and roll, we can. And then releasing our left foot, taking that right leg across or right foot across to our thread the needle, finding our hold. And it can be that left knee or left shin. If we're really tight through that glute, we may even release the foot to floor. That might be enough of a stretch, or maybe just taking hold of the right leg. So always just finding our own option. Just continuing to check in on the breath, keeping it fluid. And releasing this side, changing over, left foot across the right. Interlacing fingers, or whichever hold we prefer. And resting through this upper body, relaxing those shoulder blades into the earth. releasing this side. Hugging into our ball, taking our rock and roll. So we're building up that momentum, using it to take ourselves all the way up to seated. We can be cross-legged, actually 2 options. So we'll take our fold, we can either stay cross-legged, or if we'd like to, we can bring the soles of the feet in, taking the hands wrapping around the feet. Whichever option we're feeling this afternoon, take a deep breath in, lengthen through the spine first as we exhale, folding forwards, keeping a natural length of the spine. Doesn't have to be straight, but just avoiding any hunching into it, keeping the chest open, folding gently. If we're in that cross-legged position, we might like to walk those hands further forwards. If we've got the soles of the feet together, drawing the belly button towards the heels. Deep breaths to belly. And sitting ourselves nice and tall. Bringing the knees in, soles of the feet to the floor, resting the hands to the knees. We'll take an in-breath, opening that chest up towards the ceiling. And as we exhale, chin to chest, rounding through the spine. Big breath in, open, lift. And exhale. One more time. Inhale, tall, open chest. Exhale, curling under. And one more inhale to sit ourselves nice and tall, lengthening up through the spine. We're going to bring that left foot towards the right side hip and that right foot sweeping across the thigh. So taking our twist, we can bring that arm around or across the thigh. As we open the chest to the side, sitting tall, use those inhales, keep that posture tall. Opening a little bit through that right glute, that right side of the hip, a gentle rotation up along the spine. One more breath in. Exhale, release. Facing middle, swapping sides, unsweeping that foot. Left foot to earth, right foot towards that hip. Sweeping around, grounding those sit bones, a hug or an elbow across. Inhale, tall. Exhale, soften the shoulders. Deep breath in. Exhale, unwinding. Sweeping those feet around behind us, coming into all fours. At tabletop, spreading the fingers wide. We'll get a little bit more core activation for this one. We're going to inhale, taking that left leg back nice and long. And as we exhale, bend the knee, hug that core in, round the spine as we press through the hands, bringing that knee towards the nose, chin to chest. Inhale, keeping that bend through the knee, opening through the chest, taking that foot as if to touch the crown of the head. Then exhale, core switching on, hugging under. Inhale, open. One more time, exhale. So feeling those front tips of the hips draw towards the ribs. And releasing that knee to the mat, swapping sides. Inhale, right leg long. Exhale, tucking in. Press those hands into the earth. Inhale, opening. Exhale, that core activation. Inhale, open. Exhale, under. Excellent. Lower that knee to mat. Strong through the arms, tucking the toes as we press up to our downward dog with an option to pedal out those feet. Alternating that bend through the knees lengthening through those hamstrings. And then walking our feet to the front of our mat, taking our fold. So softening that lower back. If we're someone who's got that tension, bend those knees further, rest the belly to the thighs. Option to take our sway. And releasing fingertips towards the floor. Let's inhale a half lift. Exhale, folding. Rising up on our inhale, lengthening up through the body. Diving over on our exhale. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise it up. Adding our little back bend. So exhale, opening further. Inhale, lift. Exhale, dive. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Again, press the feet into the earth as we breathe in, reaching up. Exhale, heart opener. Inhale, tall. Adding our side bends this time. Lengthening through that left side. Inhale, tall. Lengthening through the right. Beautiful. Once more through each side. Moving in time with the breath. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, folding forwards. Half lift on our inhale. And planting those hands to the mat. Stepping back to our plank. Take out a deep breath in. Core switched on. Exhale, lowering down. Elbows in tight. Inhale, opening to our back bend, that cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's move with the breath. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. One more time. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, we're strong and steady as we lower down. Inhale, press to open. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's take that left heel to the sky on our in-breath. Stepping it outside the left hand. For our lizard lunge, releasing that knee to floor. So we can be, scattering my words, we can either have those hands for support, we can lower down to the elbows if that feels more comfortable. If we'd like to take that hold, we can bring that right foot to rest in the left hand. Deep breaths, using those exhales to soften through that right side hip especially. And relaxing that back foot, we'll take the hips back over the knee, stepping that left foot out to the side. Lowering into our half side split. So I'll turn the face for this one. See if we can press that outer edge of the foot to the earth. And option if we're lowering down through the hips. As we come back up to all fours, we're going to draw that left foot in. Taking a three-legged dog, so extending that left heel up nice and tall. Releasing it down to the mat. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Up dog. Downward facing dog. We're going to inhale that that left heel up one more time. And stepping through between the hands. Lowering to our lunge, that right knee to mat. And then extending long into our hamstring fold. So hamstring fold being our first option. If we'd like to deepen into our splits, taking that extra space, finding our edge, our Goldilocks spot. Breathing comfortably. And gently drawing our way back in, we're going to come to our child's pose from here. As we bring those big toes in, exhale, easing down through the hips. Taking that first deep breath in this posture, feeling that expansion through the body. And exhale to sink in. On an in-breath, all fours. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, high plank. Chaturanga, strong and steady. Inhale, open. Downward facing dog. Excellent. Let's take that inhale on the right heel toe. Exhale, stepping softly. Outside that right hand, release that knee to floor. Taking our lizard option, hands, elbows, or finding that hold of the foot. And relaxing the back leg. So we're drawing those hips back as we step, that right foot out to the side again. I'll face forwards for this one. Taking that leg out, grounding the foot, and finding our support through hands or elbows. So we can bring that focus back into the breath. As we listen in, any resistance, that tension through that inner thigh, anything that we can just consciously let go of. Find it with an inhale. And let it go with an exhale. And easing back into all fours, so drawing that right foot in, coming into our three-legged dog, extending that right heel tall, get that lift at the top of that inhale, and stepping through between the hands. Finding that low lunge, that left knee to floor, and lengthening through to our hamstring fold, or if we'd like to, our Hanumanasana, finding that space. So keeping those hips square. And slowly, gently easing our way up to our child's pose. So, relaxing down, hands either out in front or down by the sides. Keeping aware of the breath. Using an inhale, taking all fours. So this time, we'll come into the side body. We'll take that right hand out over in front of our left, using our exhale to lower down. Breathing into that right side. Exhale, softening into it. Inhale back up to all fours. Changing sides, bringing that left hand out over in front of our right. Use our exhale to just find that position. Taking our own adjustments. Settling into the breath. And inhale, tabletop. So keeping those hips over the knees, walking hands forwards, deepening into our downward puppy. This upper back opener, chest, shoulders. Resting the head. And walking those hands back beneath the shoulders. This time we can turn side on, taking our frog pose. So getting this opening through the adductors, turning the arches of the feet towards the mat. See if we can keep the heels just outside the knees. We can lower to elbows if it's comfortable. If we're deepening that opening, we can take those hips slightly back and down. Finding our own edge. And gently easing our way back up to our tabletop. Finding our downward facing dog. An option we can hold here if we'd like a flow. Take an inhale to come to high plank. Exhale, lowering. Up dog on that in-breath. Back to our downward facing dog. Opening through the glutes, we'll take our pigeon, inhaling that left heel sky high. Exhale, sweeping across. So again, squaring through those hips, keeping that back leg long as we deepen down Resting that head or elbows to the floor. Breathing to belly. Feeling it spread up into the chest. Releasing from the chest. Down and out from the belly as we feel those shoulders, the back of the neck relaxing. The head is heavy. And then changing sides, back to our three-legged dog. So extending up through the leg, bringing that length back through, and releasing that foot to floor on an exhale. Inhale, right heel rise. Exhale, pigeon. So again, finding our own alignment here. If we're deepening into the stretch, we can bring that right foot a little further forwards. Or easing out, taking it back. Melting our way down. Resting through this upper body. So the less tension through the upper body, the more space we have for the breath. Less resistance. And making our way up to seated this time. Bringing those feet to the floor. Resting to our mats so that we can slowly lower ourselves back. Hugging the knees in. Squeezing into our ball here first. Any little movement that we'd like through the hips, just loosening up. And then extending the right leg long. Taking our twist with that left foot coming across, or left leg. Just releasing into this opening down through that left side, the back, across the hip. And changing sides. Hugging in the right, long through the left. Take a breath in. Exhale to twist. And back to center. Hugging knees in. Squeezing in once more. Take an exhale. And lowering the feet to floor. Opening into our butterfly. Relaxing through the thighs, the arms. We can have beside, to belly and heart, or overhead.